Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you here to another Distinct Broadcast Network production. It is here where we embrace, equip, and empower the people of God through the Word of God. As usual and as always, I am super excited about tonight's particular broadcast because I have one of my friends, my fraternity brother, here inside of on this broadcast with me tonight. I am just excited about everything that he has to offer, everything that he's actually accomplished, and everything that he's doing. So we're going to take a little moment to really find out who he is and what he's about. So right now, I just want to get right into the questions. Do us a favor and introduce yourself to the people.
Well, good evening. My name is Billy B.J. Williams. I am the founder, CEO, and artistic director of Musical Paintbrush Productions of the Arts Incorporated.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Tell me a little bit about yourself as a child. I know you personally, but I know a lot of our viewers don't know you. So who are you? Who are you as a child?
I have always been a child of the arts.
Okay.
Growing up, greatly influenced by the arts. The arts, as a matter of fact, saved my life.
Wow.
And when I say that, I don't say that loosely. It literally saved my life because, growing up in the neighborhoods where I grew up, it was so easy to get into trouble. You were exposed to so many different issues, where, of course, that you deal with daily in those types of neighborhoods. The violence,
okay,
drug abuse in the area that, kids should not be exposed to.
Right.
And it was so easy for me to get those type of opportunities offered to me growing up there. And when I found myself heading in that direction, I found the talent within me and growing up into church. Singing in the church choir. Always brought up into church, of course, but always reporting back to those same neighborhoods.
Exactly.
I knew that there was a raw talent in me. Of course, everything always starts from the church. But I was then exposed to the arts when I auditioned for Parkway School of the Arts.
Okay.
In Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And, my friends from the neighborhood had gotten into Parkway, prior to me getting into Parkway, and they would tell me all of the wonderful experiences they would have there, in terms of musical theater, art even, because I was a double major. I was art as well as musical theater and music. So they would tell me all of the wonderful experiences they've had, all of the different trips that they went on, and
right.
it was exciting for me, to learn of what they were doing, and I was like, I want that for myself, Once I got into the arts and I got accepted into Parkway School of the Arts, I then began to see the seriousness, the level of seriousness for the arts that my peers had.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, these people are really serious about this. They want to take this on as a career. So whatever they need to do to better themselves in that area, they're all about that. So if I am to consort with these people,
exactly,
I needed to make sure that I was on my A game as well.
Right. Let me ask you a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
You said something about, and I want to make sure I get this for the people. You mentioned about from the church. Did you discover yourself in church, or were you that particular child that how grandmother and mother them just kind of throw you in the choir because they just felt like, or was it one of those type of situations, or was it a situation where you felt as if, hey, I belong in the choir?
Oh, absolutely. I always knew that the church was my home, regardless of what. I've always been a choir boy, my whole life, from first hearing the choir sing as a child.
Wow.
I knew that I belonged, there. So it was only right. It was only fitting.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. What was the first song, if you can remember, that you led when you were in the choir?
The first song that I led in the choir was Hosanna, Blessed Be the Rock. That was the first song that I led as a solo.
Okay, around about how old were you?
Uh, Definitely elementary school. I'd say probably about third or fourth grade.
Wow, wow. Okay, so now I want to jump back into middle school. How was it walking into middle school? Like you said, I know you mentioned about having some friends that actually went to school at Parkway. And for the record, where's Parkway located?
Parkway is located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay. Because I know where it's located, but a lot of the viewers don't know. So having the arts there, you have some friends that's there. You're looking up to them like, hey, I want to be a part of that atmosphere. What was it like actually adjusting to the art form there that was already going? Where was it? Where did you find yourself? I guess the question I'm asking right now is, did you find yourself being able to walk in and feel like, hey, I belong here, or was it that new kid on the block type of feel?
I definitely had to earn my way. I had to earn my keep. Because again, I had to kind of prove,
Okay.
that was the place for me. Because you gotta think about it. You had some amazing talent.
Yes.
In the South Florida area, and I was just privileged. I felt privileged to be among them.
Right.
And I think that once I got in and I became acclimated to the culture, I believe that I fit right in.
Okay. So after Parkway, or I guess the next question people might want to know, what did you do at Parkway? What songs did you lead at Parkway?
Oh, we did all of the classicals, the Negro spirituals, Let My People Go, Ring of Them Bells, all of the classics.
Okay.
The Negro spirituals that I love so much even to this day.
Wow. Okay. Now, I guess I get that too next, because I have a question that's just like burning in my spirit right now. What high school did you go to next, and what did you find yourself doing in high school?
Well, after Parkway, I auditioned for the Dillard School of the Arts, which is also located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay.
Okay, and while at Dillard, many of my peers from Parkway, followed as well.
Right.
Because we all had to audition.
Okay.
To get into Dillard School of the Arts.
So just for the record, it wasn't something you could actually just walk into. It wasn't like, I'm going to Dillard, I'm going to be in the choir, and you just go and you sing.
Oh no, we definitely had to audition.
Okay.
And I also got into the art department that year as well, where I had to present my portfolio.
Okay.
So, it was a wonderful experience. I feel that it prepared me,
Okay.
For real life and for auditions. And, if I wanted to audition anywhere, I could, because I had that experience. They gave us that experience.
Okay. Now, what happened in high school that you can remember while you were in the arts? I know for many of us, I know I was in the arts department as well at Hallandale High School. And we actually went on trips, and like you said, it was something about the high school experience that actually catapulted me to a whole nother level and opened my eyes up to say, hey, wait a minute, this right here is, this could be a career, this could be, it's further than just singing for your school. We went on trips. So what do you believe that let you know, wait a minute, this right here is far-fetched, and it's something that you can keep going on with? Like what I guess memory do you have from high school that you can remember that maybe that would empower someone else?
Well, I would definitely say the musical production that we did of Winter Wonderland, where I led Impossible Dream.
Okay.
And at that moment, the feeling was just so surreal. That was my first show headlining for Dillard Center of the Arts, and I can just recall the feeling that I felt of when I went out on stage. It was just me.
Wow.
In the crowd, you know what I mean? And it was like that's where I found my strength.
Right.
Regardless of what I was going through personally in life, I was able to escape it on stage. And at that moment I realized, wow, this is something that I can see myself doing for the rest of my life. It's empowering.
Right.
Okay, so that was definitely the moment that I realized, this is something that I definitely want to take with me for the rest of my life.
Okay. Now I want to tackle this is the question that was burning. At what point we tackled all of the vocal part. What about the art part, the artistic part, the drawings, and where did that come from?
It was always therapeutic for me.
Okay.
And like many kids, who grew up in their neighborhoods, they have many undiscovered talents. And when I would just kind of steal away for a moment, I began to doodle, on my own time. And the more and more I did that, the more I realized that I was getting better, at what I was doing. And it wasn't anything that I was taught at first. I was actually self-taught at first before I began to, have formal training in school, through School of the Arts. And, at that moment, that was my getaway to escape, everything that was going on in my neighborhoods. And even when I wasn't in the church choir singing, and I'm at home and and you hear, all of the chaos going on outside, and, different situations that's going on,
right.
In moments like that, I was able to just steal away and go into my room.
Okay.
In my secret place, and I would just begin to draw. And my feelings would manifest through my artwork.
Okay, do you remember a picture or a painting that you have actually have done in your past that you named that could relate from then to now?
I would definitely have to say there was a painting that I did of oil pastel using that medium, and it was a picture of the cross and the garment of the cross hanging there, and a light shining from heaven, and people standing around at the foot of the cross. And for some reason I connected with that piece even to this day, which is probably where I hone my own spirituality.
Okay.
Personally.
Right.
Because my grandfather was a pastor, uncles, are all pastors, it was in my family, but I think at that moment I personally connected with Christ myself. It was through my artwork.
Wow. And I believe that's something good for someone to hear, because we all believe that you have to come to Jesus and have that moment in church. Most people don't know you can find it wherever you are, and that's actually so profound for this moment, because we have a lot of youth that back in our days, mother or grandmother took us to church. It's not a lot of that's taking place right now. You have a lot of people that's like, hey, if I don't get it on TBN, or if I don't get it, in my car on the radio, XM radio, then they're just not getting it. They don't really hear too much about Christ. So I found it to be like, wow, it's amazing, because you don't really hear too many people having that type of experience.
Right.
But now I want to get to what happened after high school.
Oh wow. Through my high school, I actually got accepted into the Bethune-Cookman University Concert Chorale, and I got a scholarship, a full scholarship, through School of the Arts.
Yes.
Where Dr. Rebecca Steele actually came.
The one and only.
Yes. I'll never forget it. Concert Chorale came and performed at my high school. And I tell you, it was a sound unlike I had ever heard before.
Right. Trust me, I know.
And at that moment, I was like, I know that's where I want to be. I need to be there, And, I auditioned for Dr. Steele, and put my all into it, put my heart into my audition, and God was faithful enough to bless.
Wow. So how was your experience in Concert Chorale?
Oh, wow. We were a family. We were definitely a family. I mean, we did everything together. We slept together, ate together. cried together,
Right.
good times, bad times. We were brothers and sisters. So it was so much more than just a singing aggregation. You know,
Right.
it was a family.
Right.
You know, and you know, through that experience in concert chorale, I was able to travel all over the world.
Right.
You know, and was exposed to many other places where, you know, the arts were prevalent. You know, of course, like Times Square. And you know, I think in that moment, you know, going to Times Square, where's where I got my initial connection to Broadway and to and to you know, really understanding that that is what I wanted to go after as well.
Okay.
You know, full-time musical theater.
Okay. So now that brings me to why we have you here. Because again, a lot of people don't know you, so I wanted them to get a chance to be able to connect to who Billy Williams is. Now, where did the name Musical Paintbrush Production come from? And after that, I will ask, what is Musical Paintbrush Production?
Well, God gave me the name Musical Paintbrush actually back in high school, way back in 1997, my senior year of high school, to where, again, remember me telling you, you know, the art side of me is what, you know, saved my life. It kept me out of trouble. You know, it kept my grades up because I wanted to continue to participate and, you know, continue to stay in those classes. So, you know, with that, I said that, if I would have to come up with a stage name per se,
Yes.
for myself at the time, I was thinking, what would I title myself? And I thought about, you know, both the elements that I have of the arts, which is first, and painting, drawing, art. And in that, I knew that I had, you know, well, that I was very passionate about both subjects, you know, art and music.
Yes.
So with that in mind, I said, well, why won't I call myself Musical Paintbrush?
Oh, okay.
And with that, you know, I took that, you know, it started small. You know, I developed, you know, screen names, you know, with that title, Musical Paintbrush, and, you know, things of that sort. And as I got older and became older, I realized that I wanted to actually take it to a more loftier, more insightful level. You know, how can I help people? You know, and use this handle on maybe a business to help people. And why not through music and art, because those are my two strengths. So I took that to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start a company of performers, and I'm going to include those who I help in the community, whether, you know, they went to school with me, whether they were, you know, youth in the community, and I'm going to use music and art to enrich their lives.
Wow. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I know I have actually had the chance to be a part of one of your productions, helping you, you know, keep behind the stage. And I can honestly say, you know, being in the audience before and then being behind the scenes, most times people don't get a chance to see how much work and how much oil you have to have
Absolutely.
Behind the scenes to put on a major production. And one thing I can say is this. I know you don't half step on anything, you know, so I say to any of the viewers that haven't had the privilege to actually see some of his work, make sure you find some of your work, find some of his work, because like I said, it was mind blowing. As a matter of fact, we actually published some of it on our channel, on our YouTube channel. So I want to say, hey, go back and look at it on our YouTube channel. It is amazing. The production was awesome, and it was actually the youth expo, correct? I just want to make sure I was right. But again, it was phenomenal. Now I want to know about your project, because here we have it. You sung it at the church. You was a church boy. singing in middle school, singing in high school. Unfortunately, at Dillard, I want to make sure I put that on the record. But however, I know for a fact, singing in concert chorale, you had to give it all you got, because I actually was in the chorale before as well. And that was a privilege and an honor, and I want to make sure I say that. Dr. Rebecca Steele has done some amazing things with the talent that has come her way. God bless her. Even now, I mean, her legacy still lives on. I mean, so she's such a phenomenal woman. However, I want to say, your project, your musical project, what was that experience like?
Oh man, life-changing. I was actually going through a lot of things during that time, and you know, I always wrote music, even as a child. But, you know, once I got older, it was something that I said I needed to pursue more seriously. And, you know, I dedicated myself more so to sitting down and scoring the music and writing out the lyrics and even coming up with, you know, melodies and, you know, reaching out to producers and, you know, even investing money into it, my finances into it, you know.
How much was it? Because that's a question I know some viewers may want to know. You know, we have a lot of people that want to either be gospel artists or rappers or whatever, and you have a lot of people that say, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to do it, but they don't know how much finances it takes to go behind, you know, to make that project move. Right. Roughly, what amount do you think it costs for you to do your project?
Oh boy. Well, you know, there's always the cost of, you know, the initial music to be written, and then there's the production costs and studio costs and, you know, things of that sort, and then the actual cost for the printing.
Yes.
You know, so, you know, I definitely say my very first single, just the single itself, Rain, my professional single, that was a little over, which was cheap, but it was a little over $2,000.
Okay.
Just for the single, and that was actually less than, you know, what I, you know, was expecting to pay.
Yeah.
And that's being blessed with connections.
Okay, so at this point, that's something for someone good to know. You might want to surround yourself around people who's in that particular, you know, arena, so therefore you can be able to get that positive connection to help you get where you need to go. Because I tell people, you know, in order for you to go up the ladder, you have to be careful that you're not reaching down trying to pull somebody else up. You need to be either walking with people that's with you,
right, or
surrounding yourself around people that are doing positive things, so therefore you can get a positive outcome. And I believe that's such a great thing to pour into anyone that's watching this, because I know for myself, even doing something on this platform, I never would have thought, you know, that I would be able to do something like this. But being connected to people that know how to run the camera, position lights, you know, having, you know, people on my side to push me, you know, even have someone to choreograph everything that I'm doing. So I understand that it is a lot of work. Now, my question is, do you think that you reap the benefits after sowing that amount of money into your project? Did you get the outcome that you were looking for?
Well, you know, musically I did, because of course I do it for the love of what I do, the music, and of course ministry is #1 priority.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So if I've touched 2 to 3, I've been effective in ministry.
Wow.
You understand? Yes. So that is, you know, that is very important to me, that aspect of, you know, investing in myself. But it is important. It is, you know, very, very essential that you invest in yourself before you expect for anyone else to invest in you.
Wow.
You know, and networking is by far the most important aspect of your career. It's important. You know, I read a book by Russell Simmons, Do You? And in Russell Simmons' book, he was so descriptive about making sure that you were in the right soil. So many times, you know, we have goals and we have, you know, ambition, but we don't necessarily surround ourselves with the people that we need and putting ourselves in the environment that is conducive to what we want to accomplish. So, you know, that is very, very important for you to network, get out, go to conferences, whatever conferences are around. If you're in theater, make sure you go to theater conferences, music conferences. It is important because networking is essential in any level of success.
That's true. That's true. Now, I do want to ask this question because I dare not skip over this because I know for a fact this right here is something that people might want to know, especially any of the youth that are looking to go on to, get into the arts or whether, like you said, whether it's through music, dance, or anything like that, band, of course, whatever, and going on to college. What music connection did you find in college? I know for a fact that you play at some fraternity, but I would like for you to get a chance to let them know, what you joined and what did this particular organization do for you musically.
Well, I also was blessed to be one of the charter members of Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia Fraternity of America, which is an international music fraternity. And again, we were the founders for our chapter on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University. And in that, networking, again, there's that key word, networking with other musicians and learning from each other caused us to grow, as young musicians. Mm-hmm. And it was definitely one of the best decisions that I ever made. Wow. Was to surround myself with other serious musicians who wanted to accomplish the same things. So joining Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia was definitely to my advantage, and I don't regret it to this day. Okay. I am a Sinfonia.
Okay, and I want to make sure I put it out there because, a lot of people feel, especially, I just want to say it, I hate to say it like this, but in the African American community, they feel like, you have to be a part of the Divine Nine organizations, which we know that we are. Mm-hmm. However, they don't know that there's other levels to of organizations that's out there to actually back you in your arena that you're going in. There's a lot of different things that you can do, and it does not have to be a fraternity nor a sorority. Mm-hmm. But again, make sure you connect yourself with the positive people that are basically walking in the same direction.
Absolutely.
Now, my question to you is, and before we wrap up this particular segment here of this thing talk here, I want to make sure I get out and ask this question: what is next for Musical Paintbrush production?
Well, you can look forward to Musical Paintbrush. Of course, presenting our 2 annual shows yearly that we do. Our showcase, South Florida Showcase, has been a hit. Yes. Here in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area, and we definitely intend to continue in that tradition and that legacy and making it even bigger and better. Even extending it into maybe a weekend ordeal. So it'll be, definitely more of a conference. We're getting ready to move into that direction, as well as we always do a full-length Broadway musical.
Okay.
So we do that every year. So, look forward to us doing that. Look forward to the touring group of Musical Paintbrush Incorporated.
Yes.
We will be to a city near you.
Hopefully. Hey, listen. Hopefully it'll come into Hallandale because we need some stuff like that down here in this little area. Yeah. But I'm going to say this. I believe that you have some good news to put out there too. Now, Musical Paintbrush have just achieved a special milestone. Let us know what it is.
Musical Paintbrush is now 501c3. And that within itself, anybody knows when filing, it is definitely a lot of work.
Yes.
But we were blessed and we are fortunate now to be a 501c3 organization so that we can be even more of a blessing to the youth and young adults of our community.
I want to say congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
Again, because a lot of people try to go out and get it, but a lot of people does not accomplish that. Again, and I believe, and I want to make sure we put that out there because you're doing such an awesome. He's doing such an awesome thing, and I want to make sure I talk both ways. You're doing an amazing job for the youth. I know that you're doing some things in aftercare. You're doing some things even during your daytime. Also on the weekends and giving special lessons and all of these things through your company. But it takes finances to do this type of stuff. And a lot of times you have parents that cannot afford the services to help their children, to help their youth, to be able to get those type of things that they need. Because like you said, that music and art was what basically saved your life.
Yes.
So because of your company, God's using you, and I personally believe, to be able to save somebody else's life. And it takes finances to do it, even if it's just simply the gas or rent a facility to house your program.
Yes.
So I'm asking anyone that's tuning in, or whenever you decide to tune into this particular broadcast, hey, if you're looking for someone or for a company that will be blessed by your donations, please do so. But how could one find you? How could somebody find you to pour into your company?
Absolutely. You can reach us on the web at musicalpaintbrush.org. That's musicalpaintbrush, one word, .org. And we also are open for auditions or any inquiries, and we're able to be reached at info@musicalpaintbrush.org as well.
Okay, all right. Before I wrap this up, let us know what organizations you're a part of and what positions you're playing in them. Because again, some people may know you, some people may not know you. Again, I just feel like that's something that we want to put out there, because you never know what connections that comes about.
Right. I am, as stated before, a member of Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia. I am the current president of the Alpha chapter of Gamma Beta Chi National Service Fraternity Incorporated, whose primary focus is education.
Yes, it
and
is.
educating the youth of our community. And I am a proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Blue Phi.
Yeah. I want to say but okay, so before we let you go, I want to, we spoke about you singing as a child. We spoke about you singing in middle school. We spoke about you singing at that high school. I'm going to say it that way. It's just a joke.
It's love. It's all love.
It's all love. School rivalry here. But you did touch down on one of the finest institutions of higher learning. And you sung with the concert chorale, the #1 chorale worldwide ever. But you had a chance to hit the studio, get your album recorded. But we want to get a chance to hear what you have to offer. So before we wrap the segment up, is there any way you can give us a little something?
Oh wow. Okay, we take it back a little, back to Bethune-Cookman, and let's see, we'll go spiritual, and we'll just say, when Pharaoh was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go.
Tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Yes. Okay, listen, I want to say it was a privilege, right? It was an honor again. This is my frat brother, double frat actually, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you for taking this time out. First of all, I want to say thank you for letting God use you to do everything that you're doing. I want to let you know, keep on going, keep on pushing on. It will not be easy, but it's most definitely is going to be worth it in the end. Like you said, if it's one child that you could save, just know that God has used you to do His will. I commend you on what you're doing. I think it's such a positive thing. It's not a lot of people channeling their energy towards the youth. I believe that it's needed for such a time as this. Again, and I try my best to support you, and that's why I wanted him on our particular platform today or tonight to let people know. Listen, we need to find other people like this or pour into his business or his ministry, because I look at it as a ministry. What you're doing, again, I commend you. Hats off to you. But again, for the record, before we sign off, give them a telephone number that they can contact you just in case they need to reach out to you.
Yes, you can reach us at 754-368-4563. And if you are interested in audition information, please send us an email inquiry at info@musicalpaintbrush.org.
Thank you. Again, thank you to all my loyal listeners, to all of the followers. Please remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, also on YouTube, Spreaker. Do us a favor, just hit the share button. Also, subscribe to our channels. May God continue to bless and keep you is our prayer. Love you and good night.
Thank you. Come on, help me sing glory.
Glory to God in the highest. Glory to God in the highest. Glory to God. Glory to God.
He's so worthy to be praised. Come on, y'all say glory.
Glory to God in the highest.
Ha, glory to God.
God in the highest.
God, we praise you.
Glory to God. Glory to God. God.
Come on, let's say it. Don't
Let the rocks cry out.
don't let the rocks cry out.
Let the rocks cry out for me. The time is now. The time.
Sound mighty good. Come on, say it. Don't.
Let the rocks cry out. The one